It is when we meet opportunities well prepared that the wheels of success begin to turn on our path to prosperity. And in the same way, each of us can prepare Jamaica for the opportunities to grow and prosper. Hi there, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. In our program today, the public health tobacco control regulations and the implications for your good health, plus local expansion in one of the world's fastest growing sectors, renewable energy. Also, getting acquainted with robotics. Those and more on the other side of the break. Please stay with us.
Join the fight. Quit smoking for life.
Limiting exposure to tobacco smoke with its over 40 cancer-causing agents and its contribution to numerous chronic non-communicable diseases is expected to bring significant benefits to Jamaicans. Let's find out more on the dangers we avoid and the benefits to be derived when we obey the law regulating tobacco use.
Gains are expected for Jamaicans in the long term as people become more aware and conform to the ban on smoking in public places. These smoking restrictions are an important step towards reducing the health risks as well as the financial strain on the individual and the public purse. It's predicted that cancers and cardiovascular diseases are expected to be reduced in the next 3 to 5 years as a result of this control measure. And so far, support has been encouraging.
I am pleased to note that the smoking ban regulations enjoys 83% support among you, the members of the Jamaican public.
And the public will be able to breathe easier in a number of areas. These include public transportation, workplaces, government buildings, health facilities, sport and recreational facilities for use by the public, educational institutions, areas specifically for use by children, and places of collective use such as bus stops. While the restriction puts a stop to smoking in these places, it is hoped that those who smoke will be encouraged to quit the habit and potential smokers won't start in the first place. However, those who choose to light up may still do so, as long as they're not infringing on the right of others to breathe smoke-free air.
One of the things that I'm so happy about is the smokers who have been interviewed, and at least 7, 8 out of 10 are saying, I am glad for this thing because it's a long time I won't stop smoke, but it's hard.
By reducing exposure to secondhand smoke, the risk of cancer and other tobacco-related illnesses will be greatly reduced. Scientists tell us that there are over 4,000 harmful chemicals in tobacco, most of which silently poison the body. Among the more lethal, arsenic, a chemical used to make rat poison, carbon monoxide released in car exhaust fumes, and nicotine used as an insecticide. The effects on the body can be immediate and can persist in the short, medium, and long term.
10% of persons who die from tobacco exposure are persons who have never smoked themselves. A national study showed that 4 out of 10 students live in homes where others smoke. Nothing can be fair about that.
It causes numerous health problems in infants and children, including severe asthma attacks, respiratory infections, ear infections, and sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS. Exposure to secondhand smoke also increases the risk of heart disease by as much as 30%. It increases the risk of having a fatal heart attack and increases a non-smoker's risk of developing lung cancer by 20 to 30%. The smoking ban also provides protection for workers on the job, which covers any space used by someone for employment purposes or in their trade or business. Fines and custodial sentences can be imposed on organizations that fail to comply with the regulations after the 6-month period from July 15, 2013, when the law came into effect. Under Section 15 of the Public Health Act, if a company breaches the regulation, a fine of up to $1 million can be imposed. The government is urging compliance and partnership as it seeks to deliver on its commitment to safeguard the nation's health and reduce premature deaths from non-communicable diseases (NCDs) by 25% by the year 2025. Statistics indicate that approximately 1 out of every 6 deaths is due to NCDs, mainly cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, hypertension, and cancer. Data also show that the cost to administer medical treatment for some NCDs, like cancer, averages as much as $3.6 million. With the ban on smoking in specified public places now in full effect, the improved air quality that will result will lead to reduced prevalence of NCDs. For clarification on any aspect of the ban on smoking in public places, you may call the ministry's hotline at 1-888-537-6885 or 967-0306. You may also send an email to huttonv@moh.gov.jm or adrianb@serha.gov.jm. For smokers who want to kick the habit, counseling is available through the National Council on Drug Abuse, the Jamaica Tobacco Coalition, the Heart Foundation of Jamaica, and the Jamaica Cancer Society. The Ministry of Health, prohibiting smoking in specified public places, preserving the good health of the nation.
No, son. A verb is an action word.
Parents need to become more involved in their children's education.
Parents are the first and in many cases the most important teachers.
Read with your children. Review their schoolwork. Visit their school.
Tapping and rapping and slapping, I said.
Nice! High five! Woo!
A good education will never decay.
Next, electricity generation from the wind, the fastest growing energy sector worldwide. Here in Jamaica, the Petroleum Corporation of Jamaica, through its subsidiary, Wigton Wind Farm, leads the way in developing commercial wind farms to utilize this cheaper renewable source of energy. They are about to undertake another phase of expansion in the months ahead. But take a look at what they've done so far.
Wigton Wind Farm 2 has expanded commercial renewable electricity generating capacity from 43.3 megawatts to 61.3 megawatts, or 7.3% of the installed energy capacity. The addition of the 18 megawatts from the larger 2 megawatt turbines has approximately doubled the electrical output from the wind farm. This further investment in wind energy is saving Jamaica foreign exchange by helping to reduce the dependence on imported oil for energy. The sale of the generated electricity at an appropriate rate can sustain a viable business. Wigton Wind Farm Limited has been trading carbon credits earned by operating an environmentally friendly wind farm to supply clean renewable energy. The project was assessed and certified to trade the carbon credits, and by selling the carbon credits to a Kyoto Protocol Annex 1 classified country, the company earns foreign exchange that supported the implementation and sustainability of the wind farm project. Renewable energy, keeping Jamaica cleaner, mitigating against air pollution, climate change and its disastrous effects. Wigton Wind Farm is a technology-driven operation. The wind turbines at Wigton consist of towers at 49 meters for the Neg-Micon and 67 meters for the Vestas wind turbines. The turbines start to generate electricity when the wind speed reaches 3 and 4 meters per second for the two types of wind turbines on the plant. The wind turbines automatically shut down if the wind speed reaches 25 meters per second to protect against overspeed and damage to the wind turbine components. The wind farm is grid interconnected. JPS provides power to the facility to get the wind turbines started until they reach the synchronous speed of generation. The grid power is also used in lubrication pumps and cooling fans in the turbines. When the wind reaches the cut-in speed, the turbines start generating electricity and they supply energy back into the JPS grid, as well as supply the wind turbines' internal energy functions. The SCADA is the Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition Station. A SCADA system collects signals and provides an overview of the wind farm with reporting and control features as needed. A SCADA system is an effective tool for maintenance and can be combined with a conditioning monitoring system for added benefit. Engineers can use the SCADA platform to monitor and control any of the turbines locally or remotely. Wigton, both the original and the expanded plant, coexists with agricultural activities, a good thing since the land is simultaneously used for multiple purposes. While the construction periods provided job opportunities temporarily, Wigton hires local engineers to operate and maintain the wind farm for the long term. Although the capital cost for this renewable project is high, operating and maintenance costs are low. Wigton's generation costs include the cost of capital investment and the operating and maintenance costs. Wind is renewable. Wigton has a good wind regime. Currently, the cost benefit is negligible to customers as wind energy represents a small fraction of the mix, approximately 1.5%. But as the renewable energy penetration increases, the cost of energy to consumers could decrease, especially if the costs of fossil fuels rise. Studies for Jamaica have shown that there is potential for approximately 150 to 200 additional megawatts of wind-generated electricity using mature conventional wind technology. It's clean energy, something we must all embrace to reduce the economic and environmental cost of energy. Wigton Wind Farm, making renewable energy a breeze.
That can easily change if we allow the cutting of trees, forest fires, animal grazing, crop cultivation, or improper dwellings to destroy our forest reserves. Help preserve Jamaica's flora and fauna. If you know or suspect that someone is hurting our forest reserves, call 1-888-FORESTS. Remember, protecting our forests means sustaining our lives.
Growth in the application of science and technology to create competitiveness is changing the way we live and interact. Things that once appeared to be mere science fiction are evolving as modern-day reality, functional enablers of development, and Jamaica is poised to play a big part in this innovative change.
Just imagine a summer camp that teaches you how to make robots. And even more cool, it teaches you how to program and use them. Well, imagine no more, because it's happening right here in Jamaica at the University of Technology starting July 7. Targeting high school students, the Kinroy Bailey Robotics and Renewable Energy Summer Camp is all about exposing students to science, technology, energy, and mathematics, for short, STEM, through hands-on interactive sessions. For 3 weeks, the camp will support government's thrust to engage persons in those areas to prepare and build a labor force that's ready to advance investment opportunities being pursued for the economic growth of the country.
For the first 3 days of the camp, students will be concentrating mainly on robotics. And what is robotics? They'll be doing mobile robots. So how to program a simple robotics platform, get it to move, when it senses an object or an obstacle, how to move away from it. But more importantly, how can that mobile robot communicate with the user? So here we have a portable camera. With a smartphone, wherever the robot goes, you have access to that information in real time. The last 2 days we'll be doing renewable energy, and here we have our partner Genex, and students will have the opportunity to assemble solar units. So you have the panels, the control units, the batteries, etc., to see how renewable energy comes to life.
Students will also get first-hand experience on how to build programs on smartphones that can remotely operate lights, air-conditioned units, and security features for your home or business.
It can control all the lights, it can reduce your energy. For the government, for big industries where AC, heating and cooling plays a critical role, you can have your smartphone tracking who's in which room at which time. When they leave, the lights go off, the AC goes off, so you're saving energy. And that's what we want to get to these students, and then from there to the Jamaica on a whole.
The objective of the Robotics and Renewable Energy Summer Camp is to ignite interest in the science and technical areas, with a view to get young persons thinking from an early age of the entrepreneurial platforms that are available, like building mobile surveillance units.
So here we have 2 different versions of a quadcopter. And with this platform, you could use it for aerial surveillance. Let's say something goes wrong on your property, you can deploy a quadcopter to do a full 360 analysis of what's going on at any given point. So we went ahead and we reduced the cost of $1,000 system. That's around 100,000 Jamaican dollars. And for a couple $100, we got the motors, we got simple bricks, Lego bricks, and we could break it down further to having bamboo, regular Jamaican bamboo, to make the joints, get the motors, and we can do this here. We can do this locally, achieving the same task with much on our budget and doing the manufacturing locally.
And thinking even further about the sustainability of the device, the team has incorporated the renewable energy component.
Quadcopters, they can consume 10 Duracell batteries in an hour. These are small solar cells, and we have partnered with Genex. What we'll go ahead and do is have students assemble the integrated circuit. So the solar cell collects the energy from the sun. There's a charge controller. A very simple AA battery can be found in any remote controller. And this can then be embedded on your quadcopter, your mobile robot, your house security system, and in real time you're storing energy, you're collecting and storing energy.
In addition to that, the students will be taken on a field trip to the Wigton Wind Farm in Manchester for further exposure to a source of alternative energy. The Robotics and Renewable Energy Summer Camp, which will run from July 7 to 27, is endorsed by the Scientific Research Council, the University of Technology, and Genex.
The summer camp has come at a very, very ideal time with this push for STEM. When we look at these major mega projects that are about to take place, we definitely have to be a part of it, and we have to show our government that yes, we can be the ones who will be implementing, as I said, this technology, and this transfers nicely into what it is that we want to do in terms of reviving our manufacturing sector.
Kim Roy is an engineer at Wigton and has represented Jamaica at robotics competitions abroad while attending UTech. Placing third in 2012 changed his perspective of Jamaica's ability to become a producer of technology and sparked a passion within him to pass on the knowledge.
And standing there in that global audience, you realize that our country, it doesn't require a Japan or a Asia or a China to make things. We can make things. We can compete on an international stage and be recognized for that. Robotics brings a lot of the principles of the physics, the chemistry, the biology in one interactive platform. Once you can touch the science, it naturally leaves a footprint in that psyche. So we, through robotics, hands-on, renewable energy, you can see the development. Naturally, students will see this and remember it moving forward. It's more than just a whiteboard or a projector screen. It's now having all that information from the textbook coming to life.
For more information on the Kim Roy Bailey Robotics and Renewable Energy Summer Camp, call 834-5971 or send an email to kimroy@kimroybailey.com.
On the board this week, the Ministry of Youth and Culture and the Institute of Jamaica will be hosting the first in a series of signature conversations for 2014, this Sunday, July 6. It's at the Institute of Jamaica Auditorium, 10 to 16 East Street in Kingston. The theme for this Sunday's discussion is Rasta Reggae Music, Bob Andy, songwriter extraordinaire. Among the panelists are Ibo Cooper, Junior Lincoln, Robert Dabdoob, Robbie Lynn, and Director and Curator of the Jamaica Music Museum, Herbie Miller. Other signature conversations will be held on Sunday, July 20, Sunday, July 27, and Sunday, August 10. Clonmel St. Mary's Miss Community Teen Star Pageant will be held at the Marymount High School on Thursday, July 31. Starting time is 7 p.m. Come and enjoy good music and entertaining performances by local artists. Proceeds in aid of erecting a bus shelter in Clonmel. Calling all senior citizens, the Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC, will be visiting the National Council for Senior Citizens at 11 West Kings House Road, Kingston 10, to register persons 60 years and over for their smarter cards. So come out on Thursday, July 10 at 10 a.m. and get your card. Please take your TRN and identification to prove your age. Cash may be required for activating your card. Send us your events for broadcast on the JIS Community Notice Board. Call 922-868-022 or send an email to cbishop@jis.gov.jm.
Prime Minister represents Jamaica at high-level CARICOM meeting, and drought mitigation measures stepped up as the Jamaican dry season worsens. Those and other top news stories of the week are next.
Hi there, I'm Simone Wolf with your JIS News of the Week. Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller was in Antigua and Barbuda this week, leading Jamaica's delegation to the 35th meeting of CARICOM heads of government.
As we continue to discuss the single market and the economy, I think it is very important for us as heads and officials to meet here to discuss issues that impact in a serious way the lives of our people in our region.
During talks with Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Scarrett, Mrs. Simpson Miller lauded his country for amending its constitution to adopt the Caribbean Court of Justice as the country's final appellate court. She said Dominica had set an example for several other CARICOM member states, including Jamaica, which are yet to adopt the CCJ as their final court of appeal. And during an exchange between CARICOM heads and Spain's Prime Minister, Mrs. Simpson Miller committed Jamaica to deepening relations with Spain as part of expanded cooperation between the CARICOM community and that European nation. She pointed out that Spain had made significant contributions to Jamaica's economy, especially through investments in tourism and support for the health sector. Before departing the island, the Prime Minister called on Jamaicans to do all they can to protect the nation's children.
A number of them are being introduced to things that they should not be introduced to. They must live their childhood years. They must be allowed to enjoy their childhood years. And when they become adults, they take their decisions. Their innocence must be protected.
The Prime Minister was speaking at the opening of the Knowledge Multipurpose Center in St. Catherine. It was built at a cost of $133.6 million to serve hundreds of residents in Bogwalk and its environs. Finance Minister Dr. Peter Phillips this week announced that recent engagements with the international community revealed that Jamaica could secure about $3 billion in foreign direct investments over the next year.
I'm aware of both committed investments and those nearing finalization valued at more than $3 billion across a range of sectors, including agriculture, tourism, ICT, BPO operations, energy, and port operations. These investments relate to new projects and will be undertaken primarily by foreign investors over the next 12 to 18 months.
The recently published 2014 United Nations World Investment Report indicates that Jamaica recorded more than $500 million in foreign direct investments in 2013, the highest since the global recession in 2008.
The amount of rainfall we received island-wide fell below the 30-year average for what is normal at this time of the year, and was not enough to make up the deficit of the dry season between December 2013 and April 2014.
After making that announcement in Parliament Wednesday, Minister Pickersgill said the National Water Commission would be further limiting water provided to customers in an effort to stretch the supply as drought conditions persist. He said the NWC would also be issuing a prohibition notice for the washing of cars, watering of lawns, and the filling of swimming pools, among other activities.
We will be adopting a zero-tolerance approach to certain activities. Persons who are found to be in breach of the prohibition will be taken before the resident magistrate's court and may be directed to pay a fine.
In the meantime, the Rapid Response Unit was set to begin trucking water to the most drought-affected areas, starting in Clarendon and South St. Elizabeth. And the Water Ministry will continue the rehabilitation of catchment tanks island-wide. Health Minister Dr. Fenton Ferguson made his sectoral presentation this week, announcing, among other things, that a national alcohol policy was being developed to address the harmful effects of its use on the health of Jamaica's population.
Mr. Speaker, I'm referring to the type of drinking that is detrimental to health and has negative social consequences. So we're not talking about, Mr. Speaker, stopping persons from drinking, although that is the ideal. What we are talking about is irresponsible drinking.
Meanwhile, he said business operators had until August 16 to become compliant with the 2013 Public Health Tobacco Control Regulation.
I am giving friendly advice for free to hoteliers, to club owners, to bar owners, and other businesses, that after this date, the 16th of August 2014, if you continue, you will be in for major consequences.
And while Jamaica is not among the Caribbean countries that have reported an outbreak of the chikungunya virus, the health minister assured the country that government had put systems in place to deal with the threat.
We have sensitized our health professionals on the management protocols. We are monitoring the environmental conditions and have put measures in place to facilitate early detection.
And finally, Commissioner of Police Owen Ellington this week announced his retirement from the Jamaica Constabulary Force. A release from the Ministry of National Security said the police commissioner would begin his retirement after completing his vacation leave, which began on July 1. During his absence, Deputy Commissioner of Police Glenmore Hines is the acting commissioner. The Police Service Commission is to begin the process of appointing a new commissioner. And those are some of the stories making news this week. I'm Simone Wolf.
This is where the curtains come down on today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. It was so good sharing this half hour with you. Join us again tomorrow for more. Tell us what you thought of the show. Send an email to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm or hit us up on Twitter @JISNews. And our website jis.gov.jm remains a constant portal for the very latest government information. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson, thanking you for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.